on the mountain in Rivers State. And if you ask me, it has actually started. Because blowing up of pipeline is not going to pay Rivers State good, and it's not going to pay federal government of Nigeria good.
Starting to eat up. What do you think the president should be doing as regards what is happening presently?
That is what is trending on social media this morning around that kind of 11:30 a.m. Okay. We actually received news that there was a explosion at a gas pipeline in Bodo, Gokana local government of Rivers State. Bodo, Gokana local government. It was a bomb blast, and it is an aftermath of what is going on in Rivers State government, a situation whereby it has been perfected that the lawmakers in Rivers State has concluded plans to impeach Governor Similaye Fubara. And we've seen over the weeks how the cloud of political impasse was gathering in Rivers State. And we actually suspected that Wike was a man that is trying to at least edge out his, let me say, political godson, similar Fubara. And it was an impasse, serious one, that has ensued for over 2-3 months now. We've seen from the axis of the Ijaw, henchman, in the person of Dokubo, who has been threatening federal government over the years that if anything at all comes out in Rivers State that might warrant Fubara being impeached in the House, I mean Rivers State lawmakers, that the Ijaw militants, Niger Delta militants, they are all agitators. They are going to embark on their normal business of incessant bombardment of NNPC oil facilities. And this afternoon, nearly just 12 noon, we actually received news that Bodo, Gokana, local government of Rivers State, an oil pipeline has been bombed. And this is all within the Nigerian contraption. Who is going to be the loser here? Okay, let us just, screen it as the axis of the oil production. How low was the production in the recent time? We've not been able to meet up with the index of the supply or sales of oil, in the Niger Delta in the recent time. The indexes of the sale, I mean the exportation, it was low, which was why? Because Nigerians, we are not having a production, a refinery, being operation in the Niger Delta region recently. And it's because of the problem we have on the maintenance of the NNPC, refinery, Warri refinery, the one at Eket, that's Akwebom, and so on and so forth. And all this thing going on was as a result of the sabotage in the past, events whereby the NNPC installation was, subjected to incessant bombardment during Yaradua regime, Jonathan regime, and it stopped at the eve of Muhammad Buhari's stroke, Ochibanjo administration, because Buhari actually sent Ochibanjo for, to have diplomatic, agreement with the Niger Delta militants, a situation whereby they actually promised them, what do you call it, this amnesty, and they accepted that, so there was no more bombardment throughout the administration of Muhammad Buhari and Ochibanjo. But currently, we've seen the kind of politics that Tinubu is playing from the camp of the APC in Lagos State to the, let me say, Ministry of FCT, Abuja, which is Mr. Wike. They are trying to align together to edge out his godson, Similaye Fubara, but it was not auguring well. Why? There are many reasons why it's not going to concur, because from Ikwere to Opobo to Igbocha, all these are Igbo and the Ijaw communities, and they actually rotate it in terms of gubernatorial election or who win or who did not win. It is always between the Igbos and the Ijaws, and the Igbos have actually ruled for straight 8 years into 2-3 times. Let us cite example here. What is the name of the former River State governor? What do you call it? No, the one Odili ruled River State straight 8 years, and after Odili, it was Chibika Amechi. Yes, that contested between Celestine Omeria and the Chibika Amechi. Amechi won straight 8 years. Before the inception of Wike, straight 8 years. We are talking about 24 years. Ijaws have never been there. Ijaw man has never been Rivers
Wike is saying
governor.
that.
I mean, in this present administration, Medford Okilo might be from Ijaw axis. I mean, during the time of Buhari administration and Abacha administration, you know, said there was a time we are having these civilian administrators or governors during Abacha regime and so on and so forth. But no Ikwere man has ever, you know, graced that office of the governor in Rivers State. What am I trying to say here? It is the time of the jaws. No matter how you play either international or local politics or whatever you call it. No, Ijaw man has never been there. And that's why the jaws are vowing that if they impeach Fubara, there will be fire on the mountain in Rivers State. And if you ask me, it has actually started. Because blowing up of pipeline is not going to pay Rivers State good, and it's not going to pay federal government of Nigeria good.
I've seen Wike come out and say that Fubara is not Ijaw. That why the Ijaws, you know, taking upon themselves, you know, to threaten the state that, you know, Fubara is not from Ijaw, the region.
If you ask me, I will tell you that Nyesom Wike is not someone you could give a listening ear. It's not, though, one time and His Excellency, the governor of Rivers State, but if you ask me, I will tell you that he's not reasonable. He actually appears to reason like street miscreants or urchins. How could you say Fubara is not an Ijaw? Fubara is from Opobo. Yes, Opobo is of Igbo and Kalabari. Kalabari is, I think, 75% Ijaws, and Opobo, they are 100% Igbos. So they intermarry, they mix up in culture and so on and so forth. And if you ask the Ijaws, they will actually tell you that they supported Similaya largely during the gubernatorial election of 2023. So they actually believe that Fubara is from their own extraction. Amechi is Igbo. Wike is Igbo. Okudele, Abi, Odele is an Igbo. So it is their turn. No matter how you play your politics, it's not going to work. If they actually edge out or impeach Fubara, I think Rivers State will get political impasse or crisis.
But what's going on now? Why do you think that Tinubu is not, you know, trying to curtail the excesses of Wike in this
Tinubu is not going to curtail the excess of Wike because you know actually what Wike did for him during 2023 presidential election. It was Wike who actually gave Tinubu the vote, the rig. Let me just call him commander-in-chief of overall general rigging in Nigeria. Wike actually rigged out Labour Party during presidential election, and as if that wasn't enough, many youth corpers in Rivers State lost their lives as a result of Wike's rigging during gubernatorial. It was Labour actually that won election, but comes what may, whatsoever you see, you sow, is what you're gonna reap later. It was obvious that Fubara Similaye was not the winner of the gubernatorial election that brought him in. It was an OB party platform candidate, the Labour Party that won election, and many youth corpers lost their life. Wike rig out to the governor on that Labour political platform, and see what is playing up. Wike wanted to show the whole world that he is the political master of Similaye Fubara, which we call it in this Nigerian local politics, Godfather. And he, Wike, did not want to at least play along with Amechi, who he was his predecessor. Amechi is supposed to be his godfather. Now, he didn't, you know, all go well between him and Amechi, and he has now come trying to lord it over to Fubara Similaye. Wike wanted to be a godfather to Similaye, and it is all going to work out because nobody, no governor, no president in Nigeria is trying to dance to the tune of godfatherism, political godfatherism again in Nigeria. That's why it's not going to work. Wike should Wike should expect war, political crisis, political impasse in Rivers State if actually the lawmakers, you know, gang up to impeach Fubara. But if you ask me, it's not going to work. If it works, it means there will be crisis because Rivers State provides 75% of the natural resources that feed Nigeria. Wike does not understand that it is from Rivers State allocation that Abuja is being developed. Yes. 75% of our crude is coming from that axis. Rivers State, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, before you name Imo State and the rest of the oil-producing Niger Delta region. I don't know what I understand. Rivers State was #1 in the 60s during the oil exploration in the Niger Delta region. And in a situation whereby you are at least, rationing the allocation that goes over to that state. You are getting it wrong because they are having the lion share of the oil producing well in Nigeria. Our oil wealth actually comes from River State. There's no how both the federal and the state will not come together and iron things out so that peace will pick up in River State. But this time around, you can never down-tune the roles Asari Dokubo and the other Niger Delta militant henchmen are playing on what is going on. Because if Asari could at least align with Chogbomo, Tompolo government, and Tamos Ateke, I think they are going to shut down the oil producing region of Niger Delta. And Nigeria will be at the verge of collapse. So the right thing to do now is that federal should be playing their own political whatever in Abuja and other places of Nigeria. They should allow River State to do their own. Because this idea of you become governor, I become governor, it is what is going on now. And it is between tribes, regions, within a state. Allow River State to do their things. Tinubu is for federal, right? It should mind federal. And allow River State to be. If you want to just do it by force, I'm overall Jagaban. Oga Nigeria will be on fire. River State is producing oil that has been feeding Nigeria for over how many years now? You are talking about years. I don't really understand. A generation plus. Sometimes you will even think about 2 generations of people has come and gone. 30 years make a generation. And since Niger Delta oil exploration, it is over 60 years now. I don't know what I understand. When we started producing oil in River State, is let's say 50 or 50 years. That's a generation and more. And that state has not been able to at least meet up with its responsibility of using its natural endowment to feed Nigerians. Yo, just think about it. If Ondo State could be in the shoe of River State, could you be playing politics with Ondo people like Ayetiwa Dabi? Ayetiwa is now governor. Okay, Ayetiwa wants to express himself. I want to express his own power and his veto power in his state. You will come from the federal to thwart him. His effort, using the power of incubus against Ondo State. When Ondo State is one of the oil producing states, the mega crude quantity Nigerian state is using. Don't you think that Ondo people will be against you? So that is what is going on in River State. They will never allow NNPC to operate the way it was before. And they will never allow all those oil companies that are into oil exploration in River State to be. So the question now is, let every department, every corner, every angles in question, come together and iron this crisis out. The politics in River State should be abandoned for the riverines to play their politics. Nobody should come and log it over them that APC want to control over the world and Nigeria and Niger Delta region. It is going to bring bad crisis in Nigerian political system.
Well, we saw what happened during the NSAS in 2020. We saw how the angry youth of Nigeria, damage a lot of government assets here in Nigeria. Do you not think if this war begins, do you not think that damaging the assets in River State, do you not think, and the pipeline, do you not think this will affect Nigeria?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, that the federal should mind their business and continue engaging themselves on federal projects and issues bordering on federal. Then they should allow the states to at least follow the state projects, minding every project, everything within the constituencies, within the states to develop. You can never play your politics from the federal level to state level. Somebody is in the state level having the veto power to control the state as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the state. That is what federalism and the presidential system is all about. Most of our politicians, they don't go school. All they know is that allocation that they get from the federal, siphon it and steal it and go. You are operating presidential system of government and you are seeing yourself as a monarchy. It is wrong. Monarchical system cannot work. in a federal setup. Yes, what can work is through federalism. Federal system of government through federalism is should be operational. Because in New York today, New York generates, I think, one of the biggest revenue in the United States of America, followed by, I think, California. And you can use the resources of California to develop New York. Each and every region in the University of Nigeria should be bringing their resources to the central. Certain percentage for the United States of America as a strong union to continue being or existing. So what is happening in Nigeria is so appalling, is so infuriating, is so sad. Some persons are hijacking federal system of government and turn it into KBC system. It can't work well.
It can't work well.
It cannot work.
And as regards Fubara impeachment here in Rivers State, we've seen Fubara has called on the speaker, to present the budget, for 2024 and 2025, and at the same time, but we've seen what happened to Fubara last week, where he was locked out from the from the assembly. But do you not think? But the assembly are also accusing Fubara of not, are picking up their call to come and present the budget. So what do you think? How should they resolve this crisis?
Look at this issue. It's getting from federal angle to the angle of Republic of Biafra. Because let me tell you, from the axis of Bight of Guinea, that's Ibakasi, where we have boundary with Cameroon, down to Benin, Bight of Benin. I think those areas are the region of the Biafra coastal line. So what I'm trying to say is, it is going to generate crisis that every Canali involving or evolving this crisis will blame themselves. The Niger Delta militants we are talking about are linked to the, many Biafran platforms. Biafra is having many platforms in the Niger Delta region, and they are all Igbos, Ijaw, Efik, Ibibio. I would have expected you to ask me, don't I think it is going to develop, explode into this Biafran secession issue? Because whatever you are doing now, these militants, they will be blowing the pipe. As they are blowing the pipe, someone somewhere is losing. At least the regions, they are losing too. Because the oil producing agencies, though they have their headquarter offices in Abuja and Lagos, but their sub-offices are still situated or located in the Niger Delta region, from where most of the locals in the Niger Delta region are largely employed. So you will find out that both will lose. But if it generates, let me say, largely to be, this Biafra issue or struggle of 18, I think federal government will be still the one to lose. Because you don't go to someone's home and mess him and tell that person what to be. Like I've given you many instances that all our oil developed region, oil producing region in the Niger Delta, that coastal land belongs to Biafra. And you see how Biafra is fast approaching. Biafra is just approaching, erupting like volcano. But most Nigerians don't know, because they don't have the knowledge of Biafra. All they know is about Nigeria, politicians, stealing money, siphoning money, bringing down the economy. They don't think about that axis. Look at this, Biafra is coming up. They will say, no, Igbo man. What do you mean? Igbo man is nobody now. What in Igbo man going to do? Until it escalates. When it escalates, you will find out that those Niger Delta militants, they are all affiliated to Biafra militant groups. I'm telling you, blasting of Obobo, Gokana pipeline, local government.
Bodo,
thank you. You will see. You will hear from them very soon. You will find out that it's not only the Jaws. I'm telling you now, this is what I know. You will see that they are having many platforms under Niger Delta militancy. I don't know what to understand. That has gotten out from that venue of Niger Delta, oil, militancy of 18. It will now degenerate into, they will tell you, say it's Biafra, this Biafra, and it's true. Because all of them are Igbos. Igbo man is not the person that championed Biafra. Biafra as a name was championed by the Portuguese and the Jaws over 500 years before the inception of Nigeria. Over 500 years before the inception of Nigeria, the Jaws and the Portuguese were here, not British men, trading at the coastal line of Biafra, the meeting point where the English, the Spanish, Cross River, which is Calabar, Port Harcourt. Are you listening to me? You have Warri. Then later in the 14, let me say 14, 15, 16, 17, 18th century, that was when you see Lagos as a meeting point. But it was from the axis of Bight of Biafra to Bight of Bini, even the Bini. From there, it get to Lagos, Lagos, where the Awori people are coming to meet, you know, during their trading era in Lagos. But before that time, you have all these urbans, you know, from this Lagos to Badagry. I don't know whether you understand where I'm going. So the issue should be handled not with levity, but with care. All seriousity. Everybody should be careful. Because that oil is what we have, and Nigerian economy is monolithic. We are dependent on only one section, oil. We've not been able to diversify for many years now into agriculture and other sections, which might be tourism or human, you know, resources.
Okay, thank you. They have Tinubu and Wike have thrown themselves. They are holding Fubara. Fubara is also holding them. So what is going to happen at the end of the day is that if there is struggle to that extreme, then everywhere will go in flame. You know you can use to grab the bone now, grab it. So whatever Wike and Tinubu feel that they are going to deploy in Rivers State for them to grab the bone, they should be fast about it, because the last ultimatum has already expired, which is 48 hours. We didn't see any action. We didn't see the governor arrested.
To represent the
That's what I'm saying now. We didn't see the governor arrested. We didn't see anything. We don't see them marching on the street. We don't see them kidnapping the commissioner of police or calling the attention of the GOC or even shutting down. We don't see them take any action. The next 48 hours is about to elapse. We have not seen any of them.
We are likely going to
I say they're going to order another 48 hours. At the end of the day, the chief judge has disappeared from the environment there. No, the chief judge is nowhere to be found. In fact, the chief judge made an announcement that it is only the governor that have right to bring him back, that he can stay there for 15 years. It doesn't concern anybody. So that is a deep crisis. They have Tinubu and Wike have thrown themselves. They are holding Fubara. Fubara is also holding them. So what is going to happen at the end of the day is that if there is struggle to that extreme, then everywhere will go in flames.
Okay, now let me take you to the angle of Dokubo, who have said the other time when there were threats that Fubara could be impeached and that he can impeach Fubara and nothing will happen. He did said, I'm talking about Dokubo, that if they think if they impeach Fubara, that nothing will happen. He said, I tell you that something will happen. Are you sure something will happen?
They will not even have the space to sit. Huh? Talk less of, because the seat they left is still vacant. They don't even have anywhere to sit. Even if they are going to sit, they do not have any legal power against the sitting governor. We saw Wike did the same thing. We saw Ameti to run the State House of Assembly with 4 people. We saw it in Edo State. Why is it that Fubara own is, becoming something of interest? It's because of the way and manner they are pushing against it, meaning that Tinubu is interested in whatever he's going to do to make sure that he have, because in Kano now, it's not under APC, it's not under PDP. In Lagos now, it's already divided. The island people are saying no to Obasa. Some people are saying no to Obasa. It is only Tinubu camp that is saying yes to Obasa. The entire lawmakers in that house, including former Nollywood actor, shed tears when Merenda surrendered to GAG, governance advisory, committee. They surrendered. But people are saying, if you can do such thing in Lagos, why didn't you do such thing in Rivers State? Why are you bringing all the whole federal might on Fubara? Then that was why the Rivers people of Igbo extraction, the Igbos in Rivers State, yesterday, in Rivers State alone, Igbos control 70% of that population.
I'm aware, because you know Bodo.
Yes. Control. So yesterday they issued a press conference calling Tinubu and Wike to order. And they made it very clearly that any attempt, whether it is in the air, they don't even need to come closer to the National Assembly environment. If they want it anywhere that they want to impeach Fubara, that place where they did it, that they will see the other side of the Igbo people of Rivers. That's what they say. They say Igbo people of Rivers. That's what
perhaps I should ask this question. What do you think would have necessitated the Igbos in Rivers rallying around the Fubara?
Because all Igbos all over the world believe in justice. Igbo don't get mehende, no, they don't. They're straightforward because they are light. They know what light is. If you're able to, if you are light, you know what light. When you see light, you know what it is. Agreed. Wike and Fubara has worked together, or it happens to be the Captain General of the Federation. But from what we are seeing, we do not see anywhere Fubara went wrong or offended Wike to the